Theon Greyjoy is one of the most underrated and deeply complex characters in Game of Thrones. His story is not about power or glory, it's about identity, shame, loss, and redemption. A character torn between two families, two worlds, and two versions of himself. Theon's journey is one of the most tragic and human in the entire series. He was born the son of Theon Greyjoy, Lord of the Iron Islands, a hard and prideful man who led a failed rebellion against the Iron Throne. As punishment for that rebellion, Theon was taken as a hostage by Eddard Stark and raised at Winterfell, not as a son, but as a political ward, a reminder to House Greyjoy to never rise again. Yet despite the cold reason for his presence, Theon grew up among the Stark children, especially close with Robb Stark, who treated him like a brother. But deep inside, Theon never truly felt like one of them. He lived a life of privilege and safety in Winterfell, but always knew he was still a prisoner, never a true Stark. This internal conflict shaped who Theon became, proud, insecure, and constantly trying to prove his worth to others and to himself. When Robb marched south during the War of the Five Kings, Theon saw a chance to prove his loyalty and his strength. Robb sent him to the Iron Islands to win his father's support, but when Theon arrived home, he was treated like a stranger. His father Balon saw him as weak and soft, corrupted by the Starks. Eager to earn his father's respect, Theon made the disastrous decision to betray Robb and capture Winterfell, the only home he had ever truly known. This betrayal was a turning point, not just for the war, but for Theon himself. After losing Winterfell to Ramsay Bolton, Theon was captured and subjected to horrific torture, humiliation, and psychological torment. Ramsay stripped away everything, Theon's name, his identity, even his body, until all that remained was Reek, a broken, terrified shell of a man. These scenes are some of the most difficult to watch in the entire series, but they mark the darkest point in Theon's story, the point where he is truly destroyed. And yet, he begins to rise. Piece by piece, Theon begins to reclaim his identity. His first major step comes when he chooses to help Sansa Stark escape from Ramsay's cruelty. In doing so, he doesn't just save her, he starts saving himself. Over time, he regains courage, purpose, and a sense of who he wants to be, not what others have told him to be. His relationship with his sister Yara Greyjoy becomes a powerful part of his redemption. Though she once scorned him, Yara believes in the brother she knew. Theon eventually risks his life to save her, proving his loyalty to his true family, not out of fear, but out of love and duty. But his final and greatest act comes during the Battle of Winterfell. Knowing the Night King is coming, Theon joins the Starks in defending Bran, the very boy he once betrayed. As the Whites close in, Theon stands alone protecting Bran in the Godswood. And when the Night King arrives, Theon charges him without hesitation. He dies in that moment, not as Reek, not as a traitor, but as a hero, a Stark in spirit, a Greyjoy by name, and a man who finally found peace. Theon's journey is not clean or easy. He makes terrible mistakes. He loses everything. But his arc is one of the most deeply human in the series. It shows that even the most broken people can find redemption. That identity is not just about where you come from, but who you choose to be. And in the end, Theon chose courage, loyalty, and love. He died with honor, and finally with a sense of who he truly was. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Theon's character, be sure to like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments which underrated Game of Thrones character you want to explore next. There's always more to uncover in the world of Westeros,